Okay, so now let's see this question. This question came in GATE 2015. The question is, consider the following two statements. S1 is, if a candidate is known to be corrupt, then he will not be elected. So the first statement is, if the candidate is corrupt, then he will not be elected, right? And the second statement is, if a candidate is kind, then he will be elected. So if he is kind, then he will be elected. Okay, now once, so this is statement S1 and this is statement S2. Okay, now they are saying that which one of the following statements from S1 and S2 as per sound reference rules of logic will apply. So which of them will follow considering these two statements are true. Okay, so first of all, in general, we have to think about how to interpret these statements S1 and S2. So in general, I will take an implication for example, if A implies B, what does this mean? Okay, so this means that you can write it logically in form of or statement, something like this. So you might be knowing that it can be written as not A or B. Okay, so A implication B is basically not A or B, but you can also write it the same thing as, so B or not A, you can write it something like this also. I'll just tell you in a moment why I am writing like this. So this is again B, not B, so or not A, but why I have written like this, because it is now again in the format of not A or B sort of. So not of this or this, which means that I can write it something like not B or implies not A. My point of saying this entire thing was that A implies B is equivalent to not B implies not A. And why I have done that? So that I can tell you that if this thing is there, then I can say that not B implies not A. It means that if it is elected, if the candidate is elected, then it implies not A. It means not corrupt. So that was the point, so that I can write this statement. And if you might be already knowing that this follows, if A implies B, then not B implies not A. However, I have just given you the reference of why it can be thought in that way. Again, kind implies elected, so in the same fashion, this I can say that not elected implies not kind. Got it? Okay, so these two things have been derived from statements S1 and S2. Now let's start with all the proper A, B, C, D options which are given, and then we'll figure out which one of them is correct. So if a person is known to be corrupt, he is kind. So let's come back here. If a person is known to be corrupt, so if a person is known to be corrupt, and then we have to find a logic to kind. So corrupt, then not elected, and not elected, then not kind. So basically it will point out that if it is corrupt, then it is not kind. And what they are saying, if the person is known to be corrupt, then he is kind. So definitely this is false. Now if a person is not known to be corrupt, he is not kind. So not known to be corrupt, there is no, in left side there is never not corrupt, which means that we cannot say anything decisively about this statement. So after not corrupt, what is going to happen, kind or not kind, we cannot say for sure. So we cannot deduce anything from this. In C, it is saying that if a person is kind, so from kind we are starting. Okay, so from kind we are starting. If the person is kind, he is not known to be corrupt. So see, if it is kind, then it is elected, then not corrupt. So if the person is kind, then it is not definitely not corrupt. So if the person is kind, he is not known to be corrupt. That is exactly what we are getting also here, right? And fourth option is, if a person is not kind, he is not known to be corrupt. Again, if not kind, then what happens? There is no such implication that says that if not kind, then what happens. So if the person is not kind, then he may be corrupt, may not be corrupt. We cannot say anything. So we cannot say anything decisively based on the statement, first part of the statement given in statement D. Okay, so the only thing which we can deduce decisively is option C. So the correct answer for this question is C.